So chapter 4.2 is regarding the programming languages, translators, and integrated development environment. Programming languages means that, for example, if you are developing a piece of software, so what are those certain programming languages that you use, such as you have Python, we have Visual Basics, we have Java. So we have different types of programming languages that we use. In terms of translators, there are two types of translators that we discussed. One example of the translator was compiler, and another one was interpreter. We discussed this in 4.1. And then the third area, that is integrated development environment, IDE. IDE basically stands for, like, it is a environment that is basically created specifically for programmers. Like, whenever you are programming, you need an environment or an area where you can utilize your all of the resources and features. Like, whenever you are creating a program code for a software or a program, so it is not like you just need to type the code. Whenever you are typing the code, you need many more features such as autocorrect, finding errors in your program, detecting errors, testing, or maybe if you want to use any ready-made programs from the library, that means you do not want to waste time writing that. So integrated development environment is basically a piece of software or a software where you have all of these things at one place. So in 4.2, we are going to discuss about that. First of all, people do use different languages to communicate with each other. Like, in order for us to understand each other's language, we need to understand the language. But if we do not understand that, we might need a translator. So that's how the computer also work as well. Like, for example, if I'm typing a piece of code, so that is the language that I understand, and I am like writing the code, but the computer do not understand that. So the computer needs to convert that programming language into binary codes with the help of a translator. So first of all, what is a computer program? A computer program is basically a list of instructions that enable a computer to perform a specific task. So computer programs can definitely be written in high level language and low level language. So first of all, if it's a high level language, that means that it is one of the language that we use in our everyday life, or it enables the programmers to focus on the problem so that they can solve it. The important point is that when it comes to a high level language, it is the language which is easily understandable by all of us, all of the users. So we can write the code, we can read the code, we can, like, do the development and testing. But similarly, if that code is not understandable for the computer, it has to be converted into low level language. Low level language means binary codes such as zeros and ones. So first of all, what is a high level language? It enables your programmer to focus on the problems to solve it, and it basically requires no knowledge of your hardware and instructions. High level languages are designed with programmers in mind. Programming statements are easier to understand, and this means that program written in high level languages are easier to, like, read and understand, write in a shorter time, debug at the development stage, maintain once it is used. So this is an example of a high level programming language, like they are summing first number and second number. But we have other examples as well, such as C++, Delphi, Java, Python. But it has to be converted into low level language because it's the machine language. So you can refer to as a machine codes or as assembly languages as well. So machine codes are the one that programmers do not usually write, because you just simply cannot write zeros and ones. It would be really difficult to understand. So an example of a low level language is right here. As you can see that you have the hexadecimal, you have the binary, so you cannot understand it. So right here you have some advantages and disadvantages of the high level language and low level language. Can you please go through them and just get back to me if you have any confusions?
No confusion, sir.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So why do you think that it is necessary to convert the high level language into low level language? Why do you think that it's important?
So that the computer can understand.
Yes, exactly, exactly. The computer cannot understand. Definitely, because the computer only understands the binary language. So apart from that, I have one another component now. This is known as assembly language. So now there are only a little uh, amount of programmers that can write in assembly language, but they write in assembly language because of a number of reasons. Like first of all, uh, if you want to make use of your special hardware, so we use it. So if you want to make use of your special hardware, you can use assembly language. And if you want to make use of special machine dependent instructions, it can be used. Or even if you want to write code that does not take much space in the primary memory, or even if you want to write code that performs tasks very quickly. So this is an assembly language. So assembly language is like right here. It consists of these statements like you have ADD, LDA, STO. So at this level, you are not requested to write anything in assembly language, but I'm just giving you an overview. So what really happens is that LDA is basically the command in assembly language that means that you want to load the value. ADD means addition. STO means replacing the value or storing the value. After that, we have translators. We have discussed about translators. So in computer programs are written by humans in a form that the people can understand them, but the computer again has to convert it into the binary form. So in terms of translators, I have three types. Like I also discussed it, compilers, interpreters, assembler. We have done this into our last lecture. So I just want you guys to go through this whole table. I'm giving you 2 to 3 minutes for that. So just go to these differences one by one and just get back to me if you have any queries. Okay, I hope that you do not have any difficulties. And Sayyid Rayan Ahmed, do you have any problems?
No, sir.
Hmm.
No, sir.
तो अगर कोई इससे रिलेटेड कोई क्वेश्चन आता है, इफ यू वांट टू राइट डाउन द डिफरेंसेस, सो कैन यू डू इट?
Yes.
Acha, can you give me the difference between interpreter and compiler? One difference. Can you give me one difference?
Between what?
Hmm.
Between what?
I cannot hear you properly.
I said, sir, between what?
I want you to give me the difference between interpreter and compiler.
Sir, the compiled programs, they can be run without the compiler, while the interpreter programs cannot.
Okay, and Sayyid Rayan Ahmed.
Sir, I am saying dynamic.
Okay, I mean the other Rayan. So first of all, if it's a compiler, you need to understand that the responsibility of a compiler is to translate a high level language into machine codes, which means your programming language into your machine code. The second point is that it creates an executable file of a machine code. Executable file means a file that can be executed. Then a high level language statement can be translated into like many several codes and instructions at the same time. Your compiler programs can also run without the compiler, and a compiler program can be distributed for the general usage. In your interpreter part, it basically executes a high level language program, one statement at a time, which means that it do not translate it all at everything at once. It translates one by one. Your no executable file of machine code is produced, and one high level language program statement may require you several instructions if they have to be executed. Then interpreted programs cannot run without the interpreter. An interpreter is often being used when a program is being developed. Then last one you have is the assembler. So the responsibility of assembler is to convert a low-level assembly language into a machine code. This is assembler. In assembler, it's also same that executable code is produced, and one low-level statement is usually translated into machine code instructions as well. So you can run assembled program without the need of assemblers as well. So it might be asked into your exam. So here are some of the advantages and disadvantages as well. The disadvantages for interpreter part is that it's quicker, it's easy to test them, and it's also easy to add it. But disadvantages are that program cannot be run without the interpreter as it's a requirement of that, and programs might take longer to execute. But if you are referring with for a compiler, so compiler program can be stored ready for use, like it's ready for the use. A programmer can be executed without the compiler. It takes up less space, it is executed in shorter time, but disadvantage is that it takes a longer time to read and write and debug and testing. Then after this compiler interpreter, we have the last area, that is the features of an integrated development environment. As I said earlier, that this is an environment that is used by programmers to help you with the writing and development of programs. Like this is all the tools at one place, so you are not requested to go here and there. So there are many different integrated to development environments available, like which can help you. So some of the features are right here. So can you explain me these features, like any one of them?
Sir, explain what the features do.
I mean, how you can use them.
How we can use them.
Yes, exactly.
Example.
Yes, yes. Can you give me any example? No example? यार देखो, आईडी इज बेसिकली वन ऑफ द वे जहाँ पे आपको आपके सारे टूल्स एक जगह पे मिल जाते हैं, तो यू डू नॉट नीड टू गो here and there searching for the tools. So first of all, it says that some examples of an IDE is that a code editor. If you want to edit your code, it provides you with the facility to edit your code. So you can open up your program, you can edit it, or if you have a pre-existing program, you can also edit that as well. If you have a translator, so you can translate your program. Then it says a runtime environment with a debugger. So a runtime environment means a place, an area where you can run your program, and debugging means testing. Then I have error diagnostics. Error diagnostics is basically a report that is generated, a report that is generated to help you with your error diagnostics. Then you have the concept of auto completion. Auto completion means that whenever you write the first initials of your code, so it's like automatically uh, completed, so you do not need to write the whole of them. Then you have the autocorrect part. Autocorrect part means that once you are done by writing your code, so it can analyze it and it can autocorrect it on your own. Then you have an auto documenter and pretty typing. I'll share you pretty typing with you. An auto documenter is like when you want to document your code. So here is the code editor part. In code editor part, you can see that you have the option, you have the ability to write and edit your codes. So you have a console like this, so you can edit your code. This is your code editor. For translators, this is your translator that just translates it into that how it will work. A runtime environment with debugger. Debugger means finding the errors. Runtime environment means so that you can make use of them. Then you have error diagnostics and auto correction. So this is how you can see that this is wrong. So it has like underlined red. So this means that so this has to be corrected, and this is your suggested correction. So this means that it also generates your error diagnostics and auto detection as well. Then you have the concept of your auto auto document and petty typing as well. So this is your pretty typing. As you can see that all of the strings are shown in red color. So basically an integrated development environment provides you an auto documenter. Auto documenter means that you are writing to explain the function and the purpose of your programming code. So most code editors that works in their program, so they follow the rules for this. So now can you give me the answers for this exercise? Can you tell me the answer for the first part? Is it true or false?
False.
False. First one is false. Okay. Second one,
Second one is true.
True.
true. Okay. Third one,
false,
false,
Okay, fourth,
true,
fifth,
false,
okay, sixth,
true,
true, seventh,
true.
true.
perfect. Now we are done with this chapter as well, so let's move on to the past papers. Yes, in next class I will start chapter number 5. After 2 chapters, our paper 1 will be completed. So we will practice it and then we will move to paper 2, inshallah. Okay, so I have question number 1 from here. Can you give me the answer for question number 1A?
Sir, high level.
Okay, good. And part B. What is the answer for part B? Part B says that she uses 2 different types of translators when creating the program state. Give the benefits of using that translator for the task. तो एक ट्रांसलेटर बताना है और उस ट्रांसलेटर के बेनिफिट्स भी देने हैं. 3 ट्रांसलेटर्स बताए ना आप लोगों को, तो उनमें से कोई भी एक ट्रांसलेटर दे दें और उसके बाद उसके बेनिफिट्स
Compiler,
बताएं. जो अभी अभी मैंने चार्ट दिखाया है, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे भी भेजा है.
compiler.
यस, कंपाइलर हो सकता है टू ट्रांसलेट द फाइनल प्रोडक्ट टू वेबसाइट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन विदाउट द सोर्स कोड. So you can take the any example of translator and write the benefits. फिर 2 का पार्ट ए
कितने
है,
लिखने?
दोनों के अंदर सिमिलैरिटी क्या है इंटरप्रेटर और कंपाइलर में?
Similarity.
हम्म.
सर याद नहीं, गिव कौन सी नहीं.
सिमिलैरिटी क्या है दोनों में?
ये ट्रांसलेट हाई लेवल कोड.
मैंने ग्रुप के ऊपर चार्ट भेजा है ना, इफ यू हैव एक्सेस टू दैट मे बी ऑन व्हाट्सएप, कैन यू गेट बैक टू दैट चार्ट?
Sir, they both translate high
बिल्कुल.
level.
बिल्कुल ऐसे ही है. फिर डिफरेंसेस भी बताओ दो उसी चार्ट में से देख के.
The compiler translate a high-level language into machine code, and interpreter executes a high-level language
ठीक है,
one line at a time.
बेहतरीन। आइडेंटिफाई वन अदर टाइप ऑफ ट्रांसलेटर।
assembler,
बेहतरीन। खैर, मैं काम ये कर रहा हूँ कि अब